Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So after incessantly getting tagged by Amrita by the bug, thank you, I finally decided to get myself to do some tags, and I wanted to start off with this tag, which was the book addiction tag. Now to be honest, she didn't tag me onto this, but I self-tagged myself. I asked her to, and then she added me onto her list of tags, and here I am now doing it. So thank you, Amrita. I am so glad that despite me being completely lazy not to do tags, you still tag me in different videos, and I'm sure that one day I'll get around to doing all of them. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into what I think about how addicted I am to books. Okay, so I have the list of questions here with me. So I'm gonna start off with the first one. What is the longest amount of time you can comfortably go without picking a book? Longest amount of time would probably be less than 5 hours. I don't know. I've always got a book lying around me, on my bed, behind me, near my bedside table, everywhere. So I can't even remember how long I go through without picking up a book. I sometimes just pick it up, flip through it, just look at the pictures if it's illustrated, or just read the synopsis on the back side and keep it back, just so you know I can touch the book. So I'm not really sure that question applies to me. How many books do you carry on your person, physical or device, at one time? Okay, so I have got a book that I'm currently reading in my bag, and then I have like a thinner book just in case I complete my fatter book, and then I've got my Kindle with lots of books just in case I complete both those other books, or I have a change in my mood and want to read something else, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you who do that as well. Hopefully, I'm not alone. Okay, third question. Do you keep every book you buy, receive, or are you happy to pass them on to make space for more? Okay, that's rude. I don't think I pass on my books. Well, I do know of people who unhaul them, and I think that's the same thing, but I don't unhaul. I've got really old books, like books that are so old I can't even remember how old they are. They're in tatters, they're torn, I don't even think they're in readable format anymore, but I don't pass them on. They're just sitting there on my bookshelf in a corner. So again, I don't think that applies to me. How long would you spend in a bookshop on a standard visit? Let's see. I spend my time in the bookshop until I find out that my husband's getting bored in there, if that makes sense. So I essentially go in, I look at all the books, I think everybody does that, and I spend at least a minimum of 2 hours to 3 hours. If I go to a library, that's a whole different point in question because I spend more time there because I'm a member of the library. But otherwise, I think maybe 2 to 3 hours, if that's okay. How much time per day do you actually spend reading? Well, I make it a point to at least do a minimum of 1 chapter a day, but I generally do more than that because I'm sometimes glued to the book I'm reading, or if I'm not exactly getting into the book that I'm reading, then I try and read a different book, which is a more lighter, or a comic, or a manga, or anything that's thinner, so that I can actually feel satisfied that I went through a book even though I'm not reading my actual book. I just realized I'm super complicated when it comes to books. I need to see more people who did this tag just to see what answers they came up with. Where does the task picking up a book appear on your daily to-do list? I don't think I have this as a task on my to-do list, but if I do, it probably will be in my top 3. Approximately how often do you bring up books in a conversation? I try not to, but sometimes inadvertently it just comes out. I remember like this one time I started talking about how Legolas is like the perfect character and how the other person I was talking to was being such an Aragon. I don't even know if that's the thing or if someone can be an Aragon, but I think that was the phase where I just finished reading Lord of the Rings and I was super obsessed with it. And everybody I spoke to, I started like imagining them in Lord of the Rings and what character they would fit into. Yeah, that's kind of like a weird phase to be in. Approximate. Oh, I did that question. What is the biggest book or page count you have finished reading? Well, now that I just mentioned Lord of the Rings, maybe that, because it's over like 1,000 pages. But then I also just read The Dark Artifices, which also I think is like 1,000 pages, close to, in each of the books in the trilogy. I don't know, maybe 1,000, 1,500. I'm also reading The Three Musketeers right now, and that's about 1,000 as well. I also read Crescent City. I don't know if that counts. But there you go, that's like an average. Is there a book you had to get your hands on against all odds? Oh yes, so many. In fact, like this year, there were quite a few books I wanted to get my hands on. The first was Splintered by A.J. Howard. There was no way I could get it where I was living, and so I had to like find a way to get it, and oh my gosh, I'm so glad I got that book. And then the more recent book that I got was The Magic Misfits by Neil Patrick Harris. I couldn't find it anywhere, but then suddenly Amazon stocked it up and I was so excited. I just bought it, and now I'm not able to get the second book in the series. It's not available. It's so difficult to get this series over here. I really don't know why. So yeah, those are some of the books that I am really trying to, well, I got one and really trying to get the other set. Is there a book you struggle to finish because you refuse to DNF? I don't DNF. So I used to do it quite some time back, but over the last few years I've decided not to DNF any book, because I kind of feel like ever since I like indie published my, or I don't know if that's a word, self-published my own book, I realized the amount of work that goes inside writing a book. So I try and complete the book even if I don't like it, and I don't think successfully I have ever DNF'd a book in the last few years, however bad I found it, just because I wanted to complete it and give the author the credibility of how the book ends or the story they were trying to tell. If I liked it or did not like it, I would rate it accordingly, and I would give my review on Goodreads, but I don't think I've ever DNF'd a book. What are three or some of your main goals for 2020 or 2021? Main book goals, I think this year, one of my goals was to complete the entire Asterix series, and I have successfully completed it. I am so glad I finished all 38 titles of Asterix. If you haven't read any of the Asterix books, I highly recommend you do. It's like one of the best comics that I think was ever written. Well, yeah, there are quite a few good ones as well, but I really personally like Asterix. Another goal that I had was to read a classic a month. I think I will continue to do that next year. And I think I did that to a level this year, maybe not to the complete satisfaction of myself. But then yeah, I did do a few classics, and I would like to do at least one every 2 months next year. Another goal that I also wanted to do was I wanted to complete the series of Unfortunate Events. Now, I did 10 books this year. I didn't do 11, 12, 13. I think there are 13 books, right? I didn't do the last 3 as yet. So I'd like to complete that next year. Well, these are the only few that I have in mind right now. Have you ever had the privilege of converting someone into a reader? Well, maybe a few, but I think my most favorite person that I converted to a reader was my nephew. He's like really small, and I think I inspired him from like when he was really smaller to like start reading, and now he reads a lot. He's totally into like the Percy Jackson series. He's even grown out of it. He finished the entire Percy Jackson series, and I'm so glad I got him into reading, and I think that's one of my biggest achievements. Describe what books mean to you in 5 words. Well, that's super difficult. 5 words. Feel like you should have a lot of words, but if I had to choose 5, maybe escape, magic, love. Well, yeah, that's a little too extreme, but that's okay. One of the love. I really can't think of 2 more. bookshelf. I don't know if that's even a. Do we have to give adjectives? Oh, books mean to you. Well, yeah, I should give adjectives. They mean a lot. I think I've read throughout my life, so I really don't think I can go without reading. I'm pretty sure a lot of you people who are watching this also feel the same way. But yeah, it's a great, people who haven't experienced it would probably not know, but I really hope that everybody experiences reading at least once in their life, because it's a great thing to be doing, I guess. Well, I think I completed all of the questions, so yay! And once again, thank you Amrita by the book for tagging me in this. I will tag a few more people in this video down in the description box below. I haven't really decided whom to tag. I do have a few people in mind, but I will tag them below. I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope that the answers didn't offend anybody. I'm so sorry if it did, but I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you'd like me to do more tags, let me know in the comments below, and do tag me in your video so I can complete doing those tags at some point. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe, and you will be notified of all my future videos. Thank you. Bye.